It's Monday, March 2nd, 2026, and this is episode 354 of You Can Bet On That. Hi, everybody. Welcome to You Can Bet On That, a podcast for the recreational gambler. I'm Mark Duvall.
And I'm Dr. Mike.
Dr. Mike, what happened? I was expecting to hear this trip report about how you won big at Diamond Joe Dubuque.
Yeah. I was supposed to meet our friend Michael there at around 3 o'clock. So I was planning on leaving here at about noon. Even though it's only about 2-hour drive, I was going to stop in Marquette, Iowa, right on the river. There was a casino there. It was like a riverboat thing. Mm-hmm. And it was just slots, not very big. But they got rid of the riverboat and they built a land-based facility.
Oh, okay.
And it was their, quote, soft opening, I guess, whatever that means.
Right.
It wasn't all open, but some of it. So I thought, well, I'm going to stop there and check that out.
Okay.
Anyway, I'm sitting at home and then the weather turned poor.
Yeah.
And it started snowing pretty hard about 10:30 in the morning. Had I left earlier, I probably could have got out of here. But by the time 1 o'clock came, which was the bare minimum I was going to leave, it was still snowing really hard. We ended up getting about 7.5 to 8 inches of snow in a few hours. So none of the roads were clear or anything. Finally, at about 3:30 or so, I called Michael and said, I'm not going to make it. Although Michael did go.
Yeah.
I guess he stopped in Milwaukee at his local casino and he won $1,400 there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't think he made it all the way to Dubuque. I think he ended up going to Rockford, Illinois.
Okay.
So hopefully he did good there. Didn't lose his $1,400.
God, this was going to be your first big gambling of the year.
Yes. Yes. And I was very, very, very disappointed because not only did I not get to go, it's just, we can't do anything. So.
Yeah. All right, Mike. Well, we're all thinking of you.
Yes. Stuck here in the snow. Mark, it came down so hard and so fast. Yeah. And it was that wet, heavy snow.
Yeah.
It's a pain in the butt to shovel out of the driveway. It wasn't the fluffy stuff.
Thoughts and prayers, Dr. Mike.
I'll eventually get there. Well, I'll definitely be playing in our tournament, which is coming up.
That's right. We'll talk about that later in the show. Good. So you've actually set aside time there so you don't have other commitments where you have to leave or you got to play on your phone.
And no other commitments as of now,
Right.
And there won't be any.
All right. Well, Dr. Mike, I have made the very difficult decision to end our sports betting, at least for now.
Uh-huh.
We have never been winning sports bettors. We do it just for fun, right? And it was just every day I would send you some picks. You would make all the football picks, and then I would make all the other picks for baseball, basketball, hockey, that kind of thing.
Yep.
And the last few weeks, I've found it's become a chore to do that every day.
Well, and you were doing so many.
Yeah, and
it wasn't like you're making 5 picks. You were making 30,
making
40
a lot of picks for low amounts of money. But I just wasn't enjoying it anymore. And I decided to use Alyssa Liu as sort of my motivation. She got tired of ice skating. She just wasn't enjoying it. She quit. And then she came back and just enjoyed herself and ended up winning the gold medal.
Yep.
So that's what I'm going to do.
So you're going to quit for a while, then you're going to come back for just enjoyment's sake.
If I find that I'm enjoying it, I'll come back, and maybe I'll make some bets during March Madness. But and I find myself relaxing more when I gamble, going to the casino. Maybe it's retirement or whatever, but I am really more relaxed now and enjoying it more. There's less anxiety. And I know that anxiety is part of gambling, and that's kind of one of the reasons we enjoy it. But, it's just, hey, I'm having a good time. I wasn't having a good time with sports betting. So.
Yeah, it was getting tedious.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm okay with that.
All right.
I'll just bet with myself here in my ice castle. I should get something online in Iowa, so I can just drive across the border and bet.
Or use Kalshi.
Yeah, I use Kalshi.
Right? I mean, that's what everybody's doing until they shut it down.
Yeah, I think that's probably coming fairly soon. Although, I mean, you can't watch a sporting event without seeing their commercials.
Oh, yeah, it's everywhere because people are able to use it. All right.
Yep.
We've already talked about Kalshi. I want to make a correction on something I said last week. We, the poker gang, and I are planning a trip to the WSOP this year. Still not sure when it's going to be. There's some conflicting schedules. Might be in the middle of June. We're looking at the Colossus or maybe the seniors event. Seniors is only 50 years and older, so I think all of us, at least in our group, would be able to play. But I said that they had a mixed game that I'd heard about that was 2040, where your seat rental was $8 an hour. That was actually $8 per half hour. Jim from New York corrected me. Maybe I had heard it incorrectly to begin with, or maybe I was told wrong. But it's actually $8 per half hour, so $16 an hour. I still plan on playing in that and maybe no tournaments, but we'll see. Vinny Chen's reached out to me. You know, he's going to be there. World Series of Poker is always big for him. Maybe I'll play in an event if he's there. We'll see. But anyway, I want to make that correction. $16 an hour, not $8 an hour, which seemed too good to be true, and it was.
Yep. Thank you, Jim from New York.
Yep.
He keeps you on your toes, Mark.
He sure does, and I appreciate it. I like to be right on the show, and I would rather be corrected when I'm wrong than just be wrong.
I don't think it's just on the show. I think that's in general in your life.
He corrected me on some things a few episodes ago, and I almost went back and re-recorded it to get it right, but it was kind of a numbers thing, and I didn't really need to. I won't get into the details, but yeah, he keeps me on my toes. I appreciate it. And so does Boring Jack. I hear from Boring Jack all the time, too.
And Boring Jack does, too. Me, I don't care.
Of course not. And you just trust everything I say.
Yeah, I'll go with it. I mean, I'm easy that way.
Hey, there's a new adult animated show on Netflix called Strip Law. Takes place in Las Vegas. It follows a lawyer and his team as they deal with the wacky cases that come their way. I think it's extremely funny. Now, comedy is subjective, of course. This show relies heavily on jokes, rapid-fire jokes. So you won't find terribly good storytelling necessarily. It's more about the jokes. But very funny, I think. It takes place in Las Vegas. They poke fun at Vegas quite a bit. So if you have a chance, check it out. Might not be your cup of tea, but I think it's very funny. And that's on Netflix again. Hey, we want to congratulate the boys over at Crap Vegas on their 100th episode. That's a great milestone for any podcast, is to get to 100. And on that episode, they have an interview with Rick, who is a dealer at Wynn. A great interview. It really made me want to go play at Wynn, which I haven't done in a long time. Gosh, Mike, I was thinking about it. I think the last time I played at Wynn was with you. This was years ago.
Yeah, it was me too. It's been a long, long time.
Now, I have played at Encore, oddly enough, since then, but not Wynn. So anyway, check that out. The guys over at Crap Vegas, great couple of guys, and their 100th episode. A great interview, I think, with Rick.
So, Mark, you're going to hear from Jack or Jim on the fact that you said the guys, and everyone knows it's just one guy.
Oh, yeah, that's true. All right. Yeah. I'm glad you caught that so that they don't come at me and say, hey, Chris and Josh are the same person. Thank you. Yeah,
right. It's just one guy who can bury his voice.
Yeah. Thanks for catching that, Mike. That saves me some embarrassment.
We won't need a retraction later. 100 episodes is a lot, though.
Oh, it's great. There are plenty of podcasts who, very good podcasts who just have to hang it up for whatever reason. Gosh, life gets in the way or whatever.
Right.
But 100's a pretty good milestone for any podcast.
Yeah. And sometimes it's life. Sometimes it just gets stale. It's your sports betting theory, right?
Exactly. It's sports betting.
Yeah.
Sometimes just... Hey, we've got a new thing to offer here at You Can Bet on That. We have created a Spotify playlist that you can access by going to our webpage. At the top of the page, you'll see it says Spotify playlist. It is a playlist made up of gambling songs. Right now, there are 100 songs on there. Check it out. Not every song is going to be to your liking. It crosses plenty of different genres. It was a subjective list on my part. There are certain songs that obviously are going to make the list, like Kenny Rogers' The Gambler. Of course, that's going to be on there. And then what about Poker Face by Lady Gaga? Well, that's not really a gambling song, but it does have a lot of gambling references. So that's on the list. What about something like Vegas by Doja Cat? Well, Vegas is in the title, but gosh, the lyrics really don't make you think of Vegas or have gambling. So that's not on the list. Again, a judgment call on my part. 100 songs on there right now. If you think of a song that maybe should be on the list, go ahead and let us know. Email us, post something on Twitter. And again, I'll make a judgment one way or the other whether it should go on the list, but check it out.
I don't know if you should be the one making the judgments.
Well, why is that?
I don't know. It just seems like you should have an impartial jury of 3 people or 4 people who make it,
That is actually a very good idea, Dr. Mike, which I'm not going to do because I don't want to spend the time.
Okay, I understand.
Again, there's a link at the top of our webpage, youcanbetonthat.com. Just click on Spotify playlist. All right, Dr. Mike, you mentioned the tournament. Indeed.
Yes.
Another one of our semi-annual tournaments is coming up, the 12th semi-annual You Can Bet on That poker tournament. It will be on Sunday, March 15th, 2026, 1 p.m. Eastern Time. That's 1 p.m. Eastern Time. So figure out where you live and then figure out what time that is, and that's when it'll start. It'll be on PokerStars, their Play Money app. You don't need to register early for the tournament. There isn't a limit on the number of players who can play. The reason we mention this is because in the past, we've had a lot of players who have registered for the tournament and end up not showing up. But they're still taking up a seat. And even though they'll just be blinded off, it affects the way players who do show up play. So you can register any time before the tournament starts. In fact, you can even register up until 20 minutes after the tournament starts. So no reason to register early if you're not sure you're going to play. And if you do register for the tournament and it ends up you can't play, please unregister. It will be $20,000 in Play Money chips to register. And remember, PokerStars gives you 15,000 chips every 4 hours. Just click on the free chips button on the PokerStars homepage. It will be no limit Texas Hold'em. You'll be starting with 3,000 in chips. We will have hourly breaks. If you're already in our PokerStars home game group, you can sign up for the tournament as soon as I post it. If you're not yet in our group, send us an email at youcanbetonThat@gmail.com with your email address and your PokerStars username. We need both in order to send you an invitation to join our group. If you don't yet have a PokerStars username, just go to pokerstars.net, download the app, and sign up. It doesn't cost anything. And again, we'll be using their Play Money tournament option. First place will get a $100 Amazon gift card. Second place, $50. Third place, $25. And $25 Amazon gift card, each for the players that eliminate Dr. Mike and me. It'll probably be at least 4 hours if you go all the way to the end. And even though our next episode will drop the day after the tournament, we'll probably record the day before the tournament, so we won't have results. You won't have results, at least on the show, for another 4 weeks. So join us if you can. It's always a lot of fun. Hey, thanks to everyone who's been clicking through our Amazon link. Remember, whenever you're going to buy something through Amazon, please go to our page first. YouCanBetOnThat.com and click through our Amazon link towards the top of the page. It's right above the Spotify playlist link. All right, that means it's voicemail time. Let's hear from Scott.
Hey, guys, it's Scott in Florida. I had a quick, fun success story. I was at work, and the IT guy at our work came up to me and goes, "Hey, I hear you gamble, and I hear you win." I'm like, "Well, I don't know about the winning part, but yeah, I gamble." And he said, "Oh, can you teach me Baccarat? I want to go to the casino with you and watch you play." I said, "Sure." So we arranged to go. I actually got there about 15 minutes before him, and I immediately went $600 up. And I really wanted to leave, but I had to wait around for him, and he comes and sits down next to me. We proceed to go 1, 10, and 1 in our next 12 hands. Of course, he's distraught. He's over 200 down. I'm clearly upset. So I decide, well, I'm just going to grind it out a little more, maybe try to get back to even here after this disaster. So anyways, we kind of grind it out. We catch a little banker streak, and I get to 230 up, and he is almost even. So he's relieved. I stand up. I'm set. I'm done. And somebody takes my seat. And he said, well, no, I'm going to continue playing here. So I was going to go to the cashier, and I'm like, well, I got 230 in profit. And he wasn't playing the next hand, so over his shoulder, I popped $25 on banker and $5 on the blazing 7. And mind you, I rarely play the side bets. And sure enough, 3 card 7 player, 3 card 7 banker. I went $1,000 right there on ostensibly what was not even supposed to be a hand for me. I just kind of played it on a lark because I figured even if I lost, I'd still be 200 up on that session. Anyways, I'm 1,200 up. I give the dealer $25. I give my IT guy $25, and I go cash out. And I come back, and he is excited over the moon. He's like, it went another 5 bankers. I'm $200 up here. This is great. Can we come back next week? Anyways, just kind of a funny little story. He is a new gambling devotee. I think he forgot about those first 12 hands we played. But if you guys are ever in Florida, it would be great to do a listener meetup in Florida sometime. Talk to you soon. Bye.
All right. Thanks, Scott. Yeah, the Blazing Sevens is a side bet that some baccarat tables have. You will win if the player and banker tie with a 7 with the same number of cards. They both have to have the same number of cards. 2 card 7 or a 3 card 7. The 2 card 7 pays 50 to 1, and the 3 card 7 that Scott won pays 200 to 1. So $1,000 for his $5 bet. Congratulations.
Yeah. Although Scott has just doomed his IT guy to a life of
yeah. It was evil.
Downs.
It was evil.
Yeah, it was evil. Oh, why is it you always, have a great experience the first time, and then it seems to wane after a while?
I don't know, Dr. Mike. Do you have an answer for us?
I do not have an answer, Mark. It's just, I know it's because we hear these stories. And we never hear the stories about the guy who got wiped out the first time and never went again.
Yeah, I don't think those people are listening to our show, to be honest with you. Yeah, love your show. I don't gamble, but I'll tell you, the first time I did, I got wiped out, so never again.
I just like listening.
Talk to you soon. All right, next call.
Hey, Steve. What do you think of this scenario? Playing a home poker game with your buddies. We're about 10 hands into the game, and 2 Jack of Hearts show up. We didn't check the deck before we started, and now we've got a bad deck. So is that hand no good anymore? Here's the thing. If nobody knows the Jack of Hearts is duplicated, then it's still a fair game. And what do you do about the previous 10 hands? Do you refund everyone's money? Or because there was no additional knowledge, do those hands count? And again, this is a house game. So what is your opinion on that?
Okay, so a fair game. Fair might not be the right word to use, but we know what you're talking about, right? Before the cards are dealt, nobody has an advantage over anybody else just because there's a duplicate card in there. This has happened in our home game. We've got some old, hey, I found a deck of cards. Or, we didn't check that. So you can't do anything about the previous hands that have been dealt. Unless you've got a camera and you want to go back and redo everything. No, there's no point. It's like you said, nobody really had an advantage one way or the other. But for the hand you're currently playing, yeah, I would say that's a dead hand. Reverse everything, give everybody back their money, fix your deck, and then move on.
Yeah, that seems like the most reasonable thing to do.
Yeah. I remember once we used 2 decks in our game. They're different colored. And this hasn't happened in years. We're pretty good about it. But I remember one time another player, Mark, who played in our game, was dealing, and when he was ready to deal another card, he picked up the wrong deck. And none of us realized it until we saw the duplicate card come up. And then we had to back everything out. So not unusual to see at a home game, to be honest, especially a home game that's not real regular.
Right. Well, or people who don't play regularly.
Yes.
Just get together. Oh, let's have a game. And, somebody's there who doesn't play regularly. It's easy to, especially if you have 2 decks, it's easy to get things mixed up.
Yep. All right. Let's hear from Ian.
Mark and Dr. Mike, Ian from Florida. I'm listening to your podcast. One time I went to the downtown Grand, and they overpaid me $250, and I didn't say anything, obviously. And I don't know, probably 30, 45 minutes goes by, and the pit boss comes up and says, I got bad news. We overpaid you. You have to give me the money back. So, of course, I gave him the money back. And I'm listening to your episode, and I'm just thinking what it would be like if the person with the Panda Express showed up at my house and wanted his chicken back. All right. Have a good one.
All right. So you went to Panda Express.
Right.
You ordered the 2 entree meal.
Right.
And they inadvertently gave you 3 entrees. And so Ian is saying, what would you do if the employee from Panda Express showed up at your door, said, we want our chicken back? I guess you could just throw up in front of him. I don't know what else to do in that case, honestly.
Well, he might not ask for the chicken back, but he might ask you for the additional funds that are required when you buy a 3-side plate.
Yeah. I think I would be more concerned about how they found out where I live.
Right. I'd be a little concerned, too, that they even bothered to come to my house.
Yeah. Yeah, the eye in the sky caught this. Security called down from up top.
We tried to catch you in the parking lot, but, it just didn't happen. So we've tracked you down. I know it's been 3 months, but we'd like our money.
Back in the 50s and 60s, you go to Panda Express, they didn't have cameras. They just had guys up in the rafters looking down,
right?
Checking for mistakes.
Little peepholes in the ceiling. Yeah. That's why every business, including Panda Express, should have somebody like at Costco who checks you out as you're walking out.
Can I see a receipt? You got more chicken than you paid for, sir. Run!
They look at your food and they look at your receipt. Now, this isn't lining up. The receipt says orange chicken, and it looks like you've got the almond chicken here.
Why are we spending so much on personnel? Well, don't forget, we got the guy at the door that has to check to make sure that you've got the right amount of food. Oh, yeah.
And if you get caught and deny it, see, they take you in some room in the back.
Yeah, they beat you up.
They beat you up, yeah. Throw you out in the desert.
Ugh. Boy, Panda Express.
Yeah, it's rough.
Next call.
Hey, Mark and Dr. Mike. This is William from Fort Worth. It's been a while since I've called, but I'm certainly listening to you guys all the time and appreciate what y'all do. Real quick trip report. My wife and I decided to go out to Bossier, which we don't do very often, maybe once a year or so. It's about 3.5 hours. We headed out, and on the way in, we kept seeing signs for a Live or Live. We always said Live, but I think it actually may be a Live hotel and casino. We went in, and it was nice. And it's land-based, which is odd in Louisiana, so it must be a new thing. And we went to the Players Club to get our cards, and they did not have any immediate free play, but what they did have was whatever you lose, you can get half of it back in free play the next month. It didn't help us because we're not going to be back there in a while, but I thought that wasn't terrible if you're local, for sure. Or if you lose enough, it'd be worth going back to get $1,000 in free play. So then the next move is, of course, you go to the bar to try to put money into the video poker to drink a drink or two while you hopefully only lose $10 or $20. But all the machines were black, and the bartender was standing there with nobody around him. There were probably 15 terminals on the bar. And he said, no, they haven't updated the new W2G yet, so those machines are off. So we're like, oof. I mean, nobody was in there. This was middle of the afternoon. I said, can we play these slot machines right there and then just come up and get a drink from you? And he said, no. And he said, believe me, it hurts me worse than it does you. So I felt bad. He's just standing there. It'd be a terrible job to be a bartender right now there. I don't know how long it's going to take him to update it, but we're a month and a half in. Felt bad for him. So we went to the high limit. They had a little room with a slot area and a bar. Every high limit slot area should have a bar because it's so great. Now, their video poker machines were off as well, but they did have some slot machines, and the drink service was great. So we played for, I don't know, probably an hour. And she won, I lost, but we're overall winner. So then we went over to the Horseshoe, checked in, and we had a great time. But one thing I want to say, one really nice thing about Caesars, because they get bashed a lot, the properties, if you have a marker there, they will give you, it's just cash money. They don't even ask. If like I have one at Cromwell and Caesars, as well as Circa and Cosmo, and the Cromwell and Caesars, if I go get a marker, it's cash. They don't even ask, which is really nice. Now, if I go to Circa or Cosmo, cash is not even an option. I guess chips are. We're mostly slot players, but it's Tito ticket. So I have to take the Tito ticket, play a couple of spins, and then I go to a ATM machine to cash it out, which is a beating. So I just want to really plug, if you have a marker at a Caesars property, it's really great. I hope it's going to stick around for a while. I know it's been that way for probably a decade now. It can be really, really handy because sometimes you just need cash in Vegas. And I've also may or may not have used it to go pay off another marker at another property, which you should never do. And that gives you another 30 days to pay that marker back. If you need to buy a little time, cash is nice. So that's it. Really appreciate you guys. Take care. Bye-bye.
Now, Dr. Mike, you've had markers at Caesars properties, but you've always gotten them at the table, correct?
Correct.
I mean, did you know about this, that you could actually get cash?
Yeah, okay. I knew about that. However, they said, well, you can't take the cash to another casino.
Right. They don't want you to take a marker out and then take the cash. You're sure, of course.
To pay off that marker at that casino so you can get more money there.
Right.
You're kind of rolling it over kind of thing. They warned about that. But yeah, no, I just got it at the table.
Yeah. William probably plays a lot more slots in video poker. Generally, when you get a marker for that, you go to the cashier and like he says, they give you a voucher that you can put into the machine. But this is good to know. I'm sure some of our listeners already knew this, but okay, cash at Caesars properties. Nice.
Yeah. I mean, that could come in very helpful if you needed cash for some reason without paying a fee.
Yeah, no interest.
Yeah.
William was talking about Live in Bossier City, and it is pronounced Live. There are several Live casinos around the country, and how the video poker machines were down because they were going to change them for the W2G threshold limit changing. We got an email from our anonymous casino insider related to that. He said, all machines have a custom field in their settings for attendant pay amounts, but it's a manual process to change it. The casino that he's talking about started changing the settings on January 1st, starting in high limit, and they'll be done around the beginning of March. So about 70 days for 1,751 machines. That's about 25 machines a day. Now, they're not doing this round the clock, and who knows, maybe they only have one technician going around. I still don't understand, though, why they would shut machines down at Live, all of the machines. It seems like just have everything running, and some of the machines may generate a hand pay under the current W2G limit of 2,000 for a while. Oh, well, at least you've got machines running. I don't know.
Right.
Anyway, that's odd.
Yeah, you wouldn't think they'd want it to go too long because, machines down means less money coming in.
Yeah.
And it seems like, well, I shouldn't say because I don't know the process.
No, neither.
But it just seems like 25 a day is a little light.
Well, it might take some time. It is a manual process. Okay, whatever. At this casino, that's what they're doing, about 25 a day.
Yeah. So if a guy was working an 8-hour shift, then he's doing 2, maybe 3 machines an hour.
That's if that's his only thing that he's doing, right?
Yeah, that's right.
It's not like they hire somebody specifically to do this, right? I'm sure these technicians have other duties.
I think they need to hire a retiree who would more than happily come in and redo, somebody with a engineering type background.
Yeah, I'm just interested in having all the TVs on sports. That's all I'm going to do.
You're trying to explain to them, I'd love to do that for you, but really, let's start with the big problems.
Yeah. And like William said, right, the poor bartender, You know, who's going to sit there at the bar?
He's getting no tips. Yeah. He's getting his regular salary, and that's it. There's no tips coming in.
Hey, here's somebody we haven't heard from in a while. It's Rue from the old Denton, Dallas, and Beyond podcast.
Hey, Mark and Dr. Mike. It's Rue from Denton, Texas. Sorry I have been out of touch, but I've been listening to you guys' podcast and really enjoying it. I went out to Vegas a couple of weeks ago. Had zero luck, but had a good time. I got to hang out with some great folks for the Super Bowl. Wanted to respond to your question about whether or not you wish you would win early in your trip or at the end of it. For me, I would take it at any point in time other than having a losing trip overall, which is what happened this last time. Stayed out on Fremont, had some great food, had some great fun, played a little bit of blackjack. Didn't play any craps this time around, but really still had a good time. Vegas is always fun. You wish you would win, but sometimes it just doesn't work out. I hope you guys are doing well. I'll talk to you soon, and keep up the great work. You guys are doing a wonderful job. Cheers.
All right. Thanks, Rue.
Thanks, Rue. Yeah. You know, the worst thing is when you go on a trip and it's just, there's no, like, even a few moments of,
it's just down
excitement. Yeah, it's just like, I lost there. That does get tedious. Yeah. But it happens.
Oh, it's happened to us plenty of times.
Yeah.
We're going to hear from Rue's friend Wendell later in the show about that same trip. In the meantime, let's hear from Scott again.
Hey, guys, it's Scott in Florida. You mentioned about dealer mistakes on the last episode. I had a couple interesting ones. First one was a doozy. This was a couple years ago. I was coloring up at the table, and the dealer gave me 4 orange chips when he should have given me 4 purple chips. So he overpaid me by $2,000. And honest to God, I didn't even realize it. And when I got to the cashier, I guess I sort of wasn't thinking either. But I'm like, wow, I won more than I thought I did. So I get home, about a 45-minute drive, and my phone rings. And they say, this is security calling. They overpaid you by $2,000, and you need to come and repay that. So I said, hey, I'll make it right for sure. So I drove back, paid it back, and the dealer saw me, and the dealer was so happy and relieved to see me. He said, you're the guy. Oh, I'm so glad you repaid that because I would have gotten fired. Anyways, I don't really know what the floor man was doing. Maybe he just kind of glanced and said, go ahead or something like that. But anyways, that's one instance where you really want to pay it back if somebody's going to get fired. And then I had another quick story. This past weekend, I bet 1 purple chip on a banker on Baccarat, and I lost the hand. And I look down, I'm looking down at my chips and maybe recording it on a sheet or whatever. And I look up and my chip's still there. And I'm like, huh. And I look up at the dealer and she kind of looks at me. And so then I just kind of said, okay, I'm ready. And she dealt the next hand. That one I was by myself at the table and floor man was off looking at another table, I guess, or something. That one I let go. I kind of half expected that they were going to come back like 10 minutes later and say, hey, we saw this on the camera, but they never did. So that was kind of a big savings there. That one, I don't feel bad about not correcting them on that one. So anyways, we'll talk to you soon. Thanks for the show.
Yeah, 2 surprising stories. So the second one there, gosh, if you're betting $500 on a hand, and you're the only one at the table? And
you're the only one. That's when he said that. I was like, I thought, must have been a full table.
Yeah.
And, they kind of got a little confused. But you're the only one and she doesn't take it?
Yeah. That's surprising. The previous story is surprising as well, although we've certainly seen it happen. Especially when we're talking about that much money. Yeah, the dealer made a mistake. The pit who looked at it said, yeah, go ahead, send it.
Probably didn't look at it. Probably just said,
Yeah. Right, like
2,000 going out. Okay, send it.
Like Scott said, yeah, probably just trust.
Yeah. Because they trust him.
Yeah, but good for Scott for going back, even though it was a 45-minute drive. I would have done the same, of course. That's a significant amount, and somebody's job is at stake. So yeah.
Yeah, well, but I would ask the casino. I did follow through and brought it back. So how about a little something?
Yeah, give me a little
effort?
something. Yeah, the buffet or some kind of free meal.
Or $2,000.
Yeah, that'd be good too. $2,000 in free play. Come on.
Yeah,
I'll just play through it and lose. All right, next call.
Hey, Dr. Mike and Mark. This is Anthony from Missouri. Just calling with a couple of casino ventures I've been on lately. Went down to New Orleans for a bachelor party for Mardi Gras a couple weeks ago. On the way there, I decided to stop by some casinos in St. Louis that I had never been on before my flight. Went to the Ameristar in St. Charles there. It was a nice casino. It was big. It was 11 a.m. on a Thursday, so they only had one crapless craps table open. Threw for a little bit, wasn't really feeling it. It's $15, so I was like, let's go over to another casino. So I went to Hollywood, which is pretty close, across the river. They had a $10 crapless table, so I bought in, kind of up and down, played some blackjack for a bit, and then I had signed up for poker at Ameristar, and I, for some reason, thought that the text was for Hollywood. Cashed out my chips, and I went there, and they're like, you're not on the list. So I was like, oh, man, wrong casino. So then, back to the craps table, and we had a couple of hot rolls. So I ended up going home about $300 up on our way to New Orleans. Went to New Orleans, ended up about even there at their casino. It's a new Caesars. It's really nice, actually, now. One of the weird things is they wanted $5 minimum bets in the middle for a $15 table, which I found kind of weird. Usually it's about $1 for those, but kind of some squirrely deals there. That's all right. Then I went out to Isle Capri in Boonville the other night, played some slots, and I got in the crapless table. I had heard, in their latest episode about some overpayments. I ended up getting on the bonus, which I normally don't do, and I ended up rolling a 7 on the come-out roll. So they took my bets down. I ended up hitting it later, and they did not pay me out, but they paid the guy next to me who definitely did not go back up because I hit one side. So the guy paid $175, and he said, I'm going to keep this. Kind of bummed I didn't get on, but after the roll, some guys actually tipped me $75 total for hitting it. I think they had $25 on it. So been some good gambling lately. No crazy wins, but gambling nonetheless. Appreciate the show, guys, and we will talk to you soon.
All right, great, Anthony. Thank you for the report on those casinos. Yeah, usually you have to get up to a $25 minimum table for the center action to have a $5 minimum on it. Usually anything below that, it's $1. But we have seen this more and more. $15 minimum table, $5 minimum on the center action. It's too bad, but maybe they just get tired of doing the math. I don't know.
Well, no, I think it's just, it kind of depends on the place. But a lot of times I know, like out at Diamond Joe's, you'll get a lot of people who are just betting the center action for $1. And they're covering a ton of things, right? Yeah. Like, give me a $1 6-3 and they've got like 8-9 different bets every roll, and it really does slow the game down quite a bit.
Yeah, it could be.
And then sometimes they'll hit it and they'll, what do you want back? And and they change what they want back. It's just, it really does slow the game down and frustrates me a little. But if they made that $5, the guy's not going to cover like 10 things, right?
Yeah.
He's probably not going to put $50 out there, but he'll put 10 $1 bets out there. So.
Yeah, and maybe the casino makes just as much, if not more, right? Because, yes, some people would be discouraged from making those bets, but then others would be making money. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. As promised, here's Wendell.
Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Wendell from Denton, Texas. I called to give you my trip report. I went to Vegas again. I went for Super Bowl Sunday. I went with Rue from Denton, Dallas and Beyond podcast and 4 other friends. We bounced around downtown, watched the Super Bowl, lost most of our sports bets. We stayed 3 nights. I lost a lot the first day. I got lucky the last night. The last hour I hit a good hit on a slot and a few good hits on a video poker machine. I got 3 hands of 4 aces, but no kicker. I was playing the dollar machines, or sometimes I'd go down to 50 cents. So overall, it was a fun trip. That was the first time I've been in February. The weather was fantastic. It was in the 60s and 70s. You could wear shorts. Then we went to the D. I thought the vibe at the D had improved because I went in October. It was more fun this time. Four Queens bartenders were on point. And the day shift at the Golden Gate bartenders, they're pretty cool. Nighttime was more of a miss. They weren't as good. Went to the Plaza for the first time in a long time and went to the casino with the big doors. It's in the movie Casino. It's across from the California. Can't remember the name of it at the moment. And it was a good time, man. So it was a great trip. That's it. I might go for my birthday in March, but probably not since I just went for Super Bowl. All right. Love the show, man. Talk to y'all later.
All right. Thanks, Wendell. Sounds like you had a great trip. Yeah. Main Street Station, which is across from California, is where they filmed Ace Rothstein's car exploding for the movie Casino. So that's what he's talking about there. All right. Last call.
Hi, guys. This is Ben.
And this is Shady.
We just left Harrah's Cherokee in Cherokee, North Carolina. Had a great time at their craps table. Minimum was about $15. It was Shady's first time playing. The crew was absolutely phenomenal. They were incredibly friendly. The casino is easy to look around in, and the architecture even is enticing in all the best ways. Highly recommend you come out here. Have a great day, guys. Take care.
All right, Dr. Mike, again, ball's in your court. Just let me know.
Yeah, I know. Well, we're going to New Orleans, and I thought, well, we could combine those two, but it's quite a drive from New Orleans.
It's quite a drive. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And then it's like, well, if we're going there, when do we go to North Carolina? It's like, well, we'll have to find a time.
Yep, I hear you. Wait a second. You said we're going to New Orleans?
Yeah, we're going to New Orleans.
Okay. Well, folks, this is the first year hearing about it on the show. Yes, we have plans to go to New Orleans in the middle of July, and we're going to take a side trip to Biloxi. That's the plan right now here. I said I'd probably never go back to Biloxi my whole life, and we're going to do it. Anyway.
Yeah, why did you say that?
Well, because I thought, it's so hard to get there, because you fly and thing. But we have a reason to go to New Orleans. I think we'll talk about that on a future episode. But right now, we're looking at the week of July 13th. That is a Monday, a couple days in New Orleans, and then after that, finishing up the trip in Biloxi. Stay tuned. We'll have more details on that.
You never know what's going to happen, Mark. You shouldn't say you'll probably never be there again because you never know. You might end up...
Well, that's why I said probably.
They're on the verge of transporters any moment, so you'll be able to transport to any casino in the world anytime you want.
I mean, that'll be great. I think, the world is just be too frantic, though. That's the problem.
Yeah. Well, can you imagine, 9 billion people trying to all get to Harrah's Cherokee at the same time?
Yeah, there'd have to be a limit.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for this episode. We want to thank some people for some recurring donations. From Brian and Sarah, from Josh H., from the boys over at Crap Vegas, from the International Brotherhood of Gobbling Donkeys, from Tim S., a new recurring donation. Thank you very much. From Brian Dancer, from James M., and from Jeremy over at the Color Up YouTube channel. Thank you again for those recurring donations. You can buy merchandise for You Can Bet on That and The Better Life at bettermerch.com. That's BETTOR merch.com. You'll find a link for that at the top of our webpage. And many of you have probably heard that Tim Lawson will be sunsetting the Better Life podcast. Even though that is ending, the merch store will stay up. So please visit. Also on our webpage, you'll find a list of all the gambling-related shows coming up on American television in the next 2 weeks at youcanbetonthat.com/TV-listings. If you're looking for a movie to watch, check out our list of gambling-related movies at youcanbetonthat.com/movies. We'd love to hear from you. Call our voicemail hotline at 951-292-4377. That's 951-2-WAGERS.
9512-WAGERS.
Or you can email us at youcanbetonthat@gmail.com. We're also on Twitter at YouCanBetOnThat and on Facebook at facebook.com/YouCanBetOnThat. All right, over to you, Dr. Mike.
Well, not much going on, Mark.
Yeah.
Wintertime here. Baseball spring training starting. I've watched a few games.
Good.
Football's over, and so just a little hockey and basketball. I'm not big on the NBA. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I think you're in a group with a lot of people. I think, especially this time of year when college basketball is ramping up and getting excited, and the tournament coming up. Yeah, you're not alone there.
And I was thinking the other day, and you might have a different opinion, but I think basketball's dying. They always talk about baseball. Oh, baseball's dying, attendance is down. I think basketball's dying.
I don't follow it closely enough, so I don't have any data to back up what you're saying, but it could be true.
I mean, it's just, professional basketball just seems like, I hear more and more people, and this has been a complaint for years, but, well, why watch the whole game? Just turn on, watch the last 4 minutes.
Yeah, you do hear that quite a bit. I agree with you there.
And if you're going to do that, why are these networks paying so much to the teams? Because nobody's watching their ads if they're not watching the whole game.
Yeah.
But now there's a big scandal with the teams that are intentionally losing games.
Yes, and
to
that
get draft picks.
Right. That'll always be an issue, especially towards the end of the season. Yeah.
I don't even know how you stop that.
Right, because it's not like point shaving. It's like, we'll put in, the second string, right? It just, you can even argue, why risk our star players with injury when we're out of the playoffs, right? So you can't blame a coach for doing that. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's, it gives a bad taste in your mouth.
Of course.
And so anyway, I've just recently been thinking, other than that, nothing else new to report. I hope everyone's having a good end of the winter. Hopefully spring is coming at some point.
All right. Well, hopefully we'll see you at the tournament. Otherwise, we'll talk in 2 weeks. Thanks for listening.
Sounds good. Good night.